This is going to be the final video which I make about my trailer for question 1, which is how does your real media product match the code and conventions of real media products, like use, develop and challenge, etc. So first of all, use. What I found is what I've used throughout my film trailer is like the basic codes and conventions of adding title cards, having different scenes, stuff like that, like the basic codes and conventions of a typical trailer. But specifically, I found that the flashbacks dream sequence at the start of it was inspired by the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, because mainly that's Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is about it's like a detective story analysing finding out who's the murderer of women. But as you can see in this scene here, you've got Elizabeth. No, you don't have Elizabeth. You have the old guy. I can't remember his name. He's talking about his daughter, I believe. And throughout that conversation, you can see the flashbacks, and they're easily represented by that tinted yellow, which contrasts from the main from the present video clip when he's talking. So that clearly tells to the eye that that's a flashback or a dream sequence, whatever. But compared to how the film has actually been shot. So apply this to my trailer. My trailer has got at the start you have Mike sleeping, and it's just basic this dark tone of blue covering him, and then throughout that there's split editing, and you can see the dream sequence like he's dreaming that if you compare it, or there's a form correlation between the dream the flashback in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and the dream sequence in my trailer, is that around the edges it's a bit blurry, making you concentrate towards the center rather than around the edges. So the edges are not sharp; they're blurry, which represents and implies that this is that the character's dreaming, which is what I'm trying to say. Another thing which I used was the dialogue matching the words. So you might think in every single trailer this happens, and when a character's speaking it matches the action or the scene or whatever's happening, what they're talking about. So let's go this to the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Rape, torture, fire, animals, religion. Am I missing any?
The names. I may have some.
Nobody likes people poking around it.
You can see in the scene that she's talking about different aspects of the crime and what's being related to the crime. And as you can tell, you can see the guy's having a voiceover, and he's talking about different elements of the crime, like the picture and the hallway and stuff like that, or different files. That matches with the action of different scenes being implanted whilst he's talking, like the girl walking, Elizabeth walking through the corridor, searching for the correct files. That unique image, which is very good editing, because it shows a form of professionalism. It matches the codes and conventions of a media trailer, of being suspense, being informative, and being quick. And you've got those quick cuts. And the way it, let's say, has a similarity to mine, is when Dave is talking to Mike. So after Mike stopped smoking, Dave says to him, "You need to stop this." So
Yo.
She's alright. that matches with Mike, snorting cocaine, which is like my inspiration from The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo when there's dialogue and the dialogue matches with the scenes. Also, at the end when Dave says, Josh, Josh is after you. Yeah, you got Josh's eyes opening straight after. You got that quick editing and that quick splicing in between, which matches the codes and conventions of a typical drama/thriller. And going back to the flashbacks, throughout, like, not many thrillers or dramas have got flashbacks, except like if it's a necessity to have in a film or if it's part of the story. But I've used that to add effect and to add a mysterious side, because a thriller is like a mystery, because it's my plot line is about a character who's neglected by society and is like his family, and he's using like drugs as an escape. But I didn't show that part because I didn't want to give much away. I want the audience to imply that throughout different segments of the film. I wanted to show the fact that, like, between the protagonist and the antagonist of Mike and Josh, Josh being the antagonist and Mike being the protagonist, you can clearly see how difficult the relationship is. One's completely, passive, the other one's completely active, like aggressive and stuff like that, which is obviously Josh. But the story is, pretty much Mike didn't pay Josh, and Josh is very angry about that. So that is what I develop is the lack of plot is revealed, so I don't like go into much detail with like heavy scene description. It's very minimal in a way. What I do is I show the contrast between the two characters, but I also show a slight plot, like when it's when there's a pan shot of the money and then you got the address. You can the audience is easily going to imply that is that's like the main concept, the main form of conflict in the film, which is what I developed. That's because mainly in some thriller/drama trailers, you can visibly see how that is, not most of the plot is revealed, but the main segment of the story, or the main hidden meaning of the story is kind of revealed. But mine isn't. I keep that into it, so so they can wait for the film. So I don't show the fact that he's neglected by society or neglected by his family. What I do show, in fact, is the contrast in the relationship between the two characters and how they go about the situation. Through that, you can clearly see how Mike is just walking along, he's thinking, whereas Josh, he acts reckless and he how can I say this? He pretty much tears, like, just gets aggressive. Another thing that I develop is concentrating on two specific characters. Mainly in the drama, you concentrate on one character and their story throughout the film, or the trailer, let's just say. So, for example, like The Imitation Game, it concentrates on Benedict Cumberbatch. And The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, it concentrates on Elizabeth. Gone Girl, and one of the trailers, it concentrates on Ben Affleck's point of view, and then like the media, the circus of media surrounding him and stuff like that. So that's how I developed it. I've shown like the contrast inside and stuff like that, and it develops that form of thing. However, there's also a similarity, because in the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo trailer, one of the trailers, it starts off with Elizabeth, and then it moves on to Daniel Craig's character, which I don't know the name of, and then you can see them bonding. So, at the same time, you could say that's also a form of inspiration, because I've used that format of concentrating on one character than the other, and then finishing it off. But I didn't, because I didn't finish off, I didn't have a scene of them being together. I want to see them separate, and I want the audience to have different perspective on both of them, which is why I did a certain amount of time showing on Mike and a certain amount of time showing on Josh, or Josh being pushed towards the end, which the audience can clearly imply through the trailer that he's like the main form of problem. And finally, what I challenge is there's no voiceover over my film, over my trailer, compared to Gone Girl and Seven.
Your wife, Nick. Everyone told us and told us marriage is hard work. Not for me and Nick.
As y'all know, my wife.
Detective William Somerset is looking for a way out. Detective David Mills is looking for a way in.
We'll be spending another weekend.
Both made by David Fincher, Gone Girl 2014 and Seven 1999. In Gone Girl, you can clearly see the voiceover, introducing what's going on, informing the audience, guiding them. Whereas Seven does the same, saying Detective Mills and Detective Somerset. However, the reason I chose not to have a voiceover was because I wanted the audience to concentrate on the film. Like I said about the poster, there's not a lot going on because I want you to find that hidden meaning, look at the other side, look at the other picture. Having no voice, having a voiceover, you can watch the film, the trailer passively, but not having a voiceover will, maximise your concentration, and you would look at the little bits of the film which I want the audience to do. I want them to look at the different sides of the trailer, how it portrays this side and how it portrays that side. So Mike's drug abuse side and Josh's aggressive side, which is going on to my next point, the heightened diegetic. The heightened diegetic, for example, when Josh slams his hand onto the board, or when Mike sparks the lighter and wakes up, you can hear the sheets ruffle and shake and stuff like that. That was a technique,
Rachel, this is why our
used
French
to interest and engage the audience, because it builds suspense. For example, when you have a quiet sound and out the blue you hear a spark of a diegetic sound, what's happening in the scene, it instantly merges you into it. So you want to understand why that's happened, or heightened diegetic sound. So background sound, which the volume of that has been turned up. It's very unique and it's a very good technique to use to showcase what is going on in a trailer and to show how different your trailer is from other thriller/drama trailers. But yeah, that's it. So thank you for listening, and see you later.